coming in at number 8 with a 2.75 is Final Fantasy PSP.
Damn. I didn't want 8 to be ranked at number 8 because I liked 8, but it would have been nice to be like, at number 8, Final Fantasy 8.
This is the game that started it all, and we are currently replaying. Be careful not to get too crazy here with talking because we're going to do a revisited on this, but this is the game that started it, put it in motion. It created the battle system that, besides a couple tweaks and changes here and there, has pretty much flown through the whole series.
And it was supposed to be Square Enix's or Squaresoft's final game.
Right, yeah. It's because they were going bankrupt.
It just happened to take off.
Yep.
So, I love that was an appropriate name for the time. But then people are now that they keep making Final Fantasies. Like, you guys, this is a fantasy that's never ending. So let's change the name, because you can't be final if you're still doing it.
I'll be honest, though, if people freak out about tiny little name changes and things like that for other series, can you imagine if the next game was not Final Fantasy? If they were like Fantasy Infinite?
Right.
I don't care. I like the name Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I don't really think
and that also, it also gives praise. The name is praised a second time when they go into the future. They told the Final Fantasy of that universe. Every game has taken place, aside from a couple strikes here and there, has taken place in a new universe with new characters and a new system and new logics.
And a new threat.
And a new threat. Because it's a new universe with new logics.
Some of the stories kind of fit together.
Yeah, some of them do.
Like 5, 6, 7.
But if you look at the world map, that's impossible.
I thought 4.
Well,
they would have had to have suffered the worst ecological catastrophe in the history of everything, and also
6 to 7
if you pay also real close attention, a lot of different Final Fantasies take place on different planets, except for, this is really strange, there's one Final Fantasy that takes place on Earth. And it makes no sense, because Earth has 2 moons.
Oh, you're talking about Final Fantasy 4?
4 takes place
it takes
on
place
Earth.
on Gaia.
Final Fantasy 9.
I've read the translations that say it takes place on Earth.
They said that 10 is
There's a few of them that
is
are
the backstory to 7, only because they put in a guy named Shinra in one
Who
scene.
starts up the
Right, but if you want to
I'm
get,
going to make a way to do summons.
I mean, if you go into crazy fan theories and everything, but here's the thing: unlike The Legend of Zelda, where you at least have a mythology that backs all these fan theories up, and then Nintendo debunked a whole bunch of fan theories, being like,
and then they
you were close. Regardless, they did it, and Nintendo gets final say. It's their shit. Sony, or not Sony, sorry, but Square Enix has pretty much flat out told us every game takes place in its own universe. And when it doesn't,
for the ones that take place in Iblis.
When it doesn't, they tell you. They tell you directly. When Final Fantasy 12 came out, they said it takes place in the Tactics universe. They said it. So if that was true, and they have no problem coming out and being like, hey, by the way, this is a precursor. Hey, by the way, this happened after. Hey, by the way, these are 2 events that take place in the same universe. Then there's no way that by now they wouldn't have come out and said, hey, by the way, 10 takes place before 7. They would have done that, because can you imagine the money they could have gotten if they'd have said, hey, 10 is actually the prequel story, so if you guys are interested, there's this collection where it's going to be 10, 10-2, 7, Crisis Core. It's going to be fucking maddening. It's going to be like a $400 collection. Enjoy that. Like, people would be like, oh, shit!
Yeah.
People would buy the fuck out of that, and all they'd have to do is be like, we added a small storyline that shows you how these games fit together. And they'd be like, oh my fucking God. And they'd fucking run right out and they'd buy that shit off the shelves. They wouldn't even be able to hold that thing on the shelf.
Wait, no. They'd only have 2 reserves open for people.
Like, it would be incredible.
No, Square Enix likes money.
Unlike the Zeldas, where the Zeldas pretty much, they always said that, yeah, this is one universe. But they never told us how it worked until, that book.
Which they...
So then the fans came up with all that stuff.
Because they're like, oh, by the way, this thing throws everything out the window again.
But
Have fun.
for the most part, Final Fantasy 1 is
It started your job system. I mean, it's loosely as shit, but
yes and no.
it starts the
started
concept.
a system, but it didn't start the system.
It was D&D.
It was D&D. That's all it was.
You had to pick.
Actually,
you had to
it
pick
was
a class.
D&D light because you couldn't cross class. But
Regardless,
you did get a promotion class to it.
The original D&D that
basically you go.
The
As
original
a technicality in FF1, you should have been getting to Bahamut and the Castle of Trials around level 20, which in D&D marks you as an epic level character, which in theoretical value technically bumps you up into a quote-unquote upgraded class.
Which, regardless, in the D&D that I played with my mom, the original Dungeons & Dragons in the tiny box, you could only pick one class. There was no cross-classing.
No, you could cross-class, you just had to take a level in it.
The original book did not allow it for me. I still have it. It's at Dad's. It's in the attic. You get a class. And then once you reach a level 20 character, you can upgrade into specific classes that pour for that character, but you cannot cross the classes. Because the paperwork for it, nobody wanted to deal with it at the time.
It might have been the next version up then that my parents were playing, because my dad, my mom, and a lot of friends and family used to play the shit out of old D&D.
Well, they've been doing it.
It was like early versions.
Yeah, I no joke. I had a coworker who stated that when he was in high school, literally him and his buddies would sit around on their front porch, sit around drinking soda and booze, playing 1.0, where
you had three classes.
Joke, yeah,
you had fighter, you had rogue, and you had mage.
Yeah.
Mage was your healer and blow stuff up guy.
So
those were your three classes.
So if you take that and you modify the system and you look at Final Fantasy 1, they give you 6 classes.
Yep.
And then they take you on a campaign.
Up into 3. Well, they split the mages up, white and black, and then they give you a fighter, and then they give you a monk, and then they give you a thief, and then they let you do a pseudo hybrid class for your
Red Mage,
which is basically fighter mage, just without the potency. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry, with the fucking potency, because my Red Mage was better than my Black Mage ever would be.
Yeah, I was laughing.
Yeah, my Black Mage was rolling 30s with his spells. My Red Mage was doing over 150.
You were getting
the same spell.
You were getting screwed on somehow.
I came over and I was watching him play.
My Red Mage walked up and said, "These nuts!"
Hold on, let's Dungeons and Dragons.
I'll hold off on
no,
that, though,
Dungeons and Dragons. Let's be honest though. You roll a character. Maybe.
My Black Mage had twice the intelligence.
Well, I have no idea what was wrong because, your game was acting shitty. Because I'm telling you,
I was getting bad rolls, dude. That's the only way I could come up with it. But there's no way in hell.
Because the Black Mage, Because my Red Mage,
unless there was some glitch,
my Red Mage wasn't able to cast Black Magic as good as my White Mage. My White Mage would use the items to cast the same spell he was using, and she'd do triple his damage.
See, mine wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
Overall.
Well, unless there was some glitch, like maybe if you switched where you're red and you're black.
Overall, it started the phenomenon that is Final Fantasy.
And from there, coming in at number 7 with a 2.9 was Final Fantasy VIII for the PlayStation 1.
Close.
How many of these damn things are going to be like one number off? My OCD that I usually don't have is about to fucking kick in, and it's going to piss me the fuck off.
Well, 8 getting made for 7 is 8. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
See, I liked 8 a lot, but I can understand certain things. Draw system is one of the big ones that fucks people's world, and that's usually why it gets rated to pretty low.
Well, because if you're like I'm a completionist sometimes at games, I always want to get 100 of everything, so that's how I was with Final Fantasy VIII, and that would piss me off sometimes. You go to a fight, and you're like, well, I haven't found anybody with this yet, so looks like all 3 characters you're going to have to draw for 45 minutes. So I get...
Ask Shane.
But some characters would draw...
He was on vacation and I stayed over there. Ask him how I took care of my magic situation.
Well, he was telling me
you supplemented the time that was given to drawing by supplementing items.
But I also never I never did that though. That's how much
so
of a completionist I was I would get all the
What
power
Bill
from
was
people,
getting at,
and I would have all the cards. And
what
I
Bill
was
was
like,
getting
just
at is no
destroying
matter
the
what
game.
you're doing, it's time consuming.
No
Yeah,
matter
right,
what
yeah.
you do,
Yeah, because getting
it's
the
the
cards is
same
pretty
situation.
ridiculous.
You can either wait
Well,
to draw 1 or
my
10 or
rules
12
got
at a time,
pretty
or
mixed
you can
up.
get 1 or 2 or 3 items and cards at a time and use it's the same
Right.
thing. It's no different. There's one
Except
difference.
every character of mine had 99.
There's only one difference.
Or well, yeah. I thought you only had 99.
No,
Here's-
max of everything was 100.
Here's the biggest difference between items and drawing. Drawing feels more tedious. This feels less tedious. Truth
Still gotta win
is
the
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
You still have to collect shit to get shit,
Or you just go buy shit.
which is collecting shit to get shit.
I just
And you're
And
spending
in the
money
time-
that you need to be
in the
spending
time-
on gasoline.
In the
on
time
your
that it
car.
takes you, to go
fight
out, to
garbage.
kill the monsters, to get the items, to sell the things, to buy the material, to use the GF, to refine the material, you got to go do stuff, which was cool because you were doing stuff. I stood around for the half an hour you were walking, ching, 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 and both ways are boring.
Except while you're getting 100 cure spells, I'm already sitting on Curaga.
Possibly.
No, I'm already sitting on Curaga.
There's no difference. There isn't.
like
Tedious as
Well,
it is.
if you go back, I know it's tedious
The
a little bit, but
story
okay,
was-
let's say who here
It's
has
still
ever got
refining materials
like-
and time to get magic.
Right. Well, like so, I'll go forward a little bit to Final Fantasy VII, which I know is probably higher ranked, but like in that game, if someone's like, "Hey, I got all the master materials," that is way more time consuming than
Yes.
drawing in Final Fantasy. Because you got to master everything
time consuming
once,
is getting
at
a
least,
big gold chocobo.
in order to get the master one.
That's some time
And then to
consuming
get the master
shit.
one, is 5 different ones. There's the support,
Like
mag,
surrounding
green,
with that.
red. I mean, and the summon one.
Most
whatever
Final
summon one,
Fantasies
but-
after Final Fantasy like 4 and up
yeah.
have at least 1 or 2 tedious parts.
Right.
Like if you
Yeah.
want really good
Chocobo
armor,
babies and over again.
if you want the best armor,
Right.
Final Fantasy 4, welcome to tedium.
Yeah, I already told you that one. You go fight.
Yeah,
pink
you said the
puffs.
summons to fight the people.
Well, no. Here's the worst part. You fight pink puffs. You get a tail. It's a key item.
Okay.
You can have one.
Of each, right? There's just several.
No,
I mean, like different
No,
ones.
no.
you can only
You
have
can
one.
have one pink tail in your inventory.
Okay.
You cast exit if you're lucky, or you walk your ass out of the fucking Subterra. You walk all the way across the surface of the moon. You jump into Lunar Whale. You land it back on Earth. You jump in your airship. You fly to the Silvera or the Mithril Cave or Mithril Town, whatever the hell it's called in that version that you happen to be playing. You make sure that your hovercraft is already there. And then you hop on the hovercraft and go across the little thingies, so that way you can go into the cave. And you run up to this little midget guy in a cave, you'd be like, here's this pink tail, and he's like, awesome, here's some adamant. And you go, awesome, the fuck do I do with this? And then you run your happy ass back to your little hovercraft, you jump back into your airship, you fly to your good airship if you had to just drag over your hovercraft. You go to the airship that can actually travel in the underworld. You fly down to Coco and be like, Coco, more adamant. What can you do with this? It's like, I can make you the most pimp fucking army you've ever seen.
For one guy. Now
Here's
repeat
one
process.
Suit. Now go give me some more.
Nice.
Repeat process 4 more times.
That's a pretty standard.
So there's a tedium type of thing
You don't
to
need
every
it.
Final
Right, that
Fantasy.
you
Just
don't really
like
need, yeah.
if you
You don't
wanted to
need.
get fucking retarded in 5, you could max every job,
Which isn't that hard, though.
but
You
it's
just have to know which
still
enemies to fight.
Right, yeah,
outrageously
yeah, keys and stuff.
fucking redundant.
Yeah.
Like by the
When I
time
saw
you've
Red
mastered,
Navy in 909 or
say you
9,000 or
if you master
I was like,
4
no.
fucking job classes, you're strong enough to beat the end of the game.
So,
So at that point, you're just doing what you said.
Yeah.
You're a fucking completionist for the sake of
I'm just doing
look at this edict.
Yeah, you feel like checked out.
No, besides it being tedious, because I do like 8 a lot. Drawing, I did do a lot of drawing. Took a lot of time, girl.
I did both.
Yeah.
I would get the items to refine the magic, and when I found something, I would draw. But it's still the process of selling these items, to buy this material, to refine this stuff, to walk over here, to fucking put it on, and then you still the other part. Before you can refine the materials, like you've got to walk in circles to get the GF, to get the thing, to get the abilities. Then you got to get the other parts so that you can actually put them on your stats. And then you got to have very specific GFs equipped so that you can actually get all of the stats onto all of one character. It's such a fucking tedious mess. However, materia follows almost the same basis. It just feels better for some reason. But material, like he said, getting the master materia, holy dicks!
You get a freebie for all 4 of them.
No.
You get one freebie.
Oh, the one. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you meant you get a freebie each of them. On each of them. I'm like, I don't know.
But you have to collect all of them. That's it. Or no, there's certain spots that you can actually pick them up, but you do get freebies.
They're not mastered. They're not. That's what I'm trying. No, to get the master material, you'd have to farm it.
I thought you actually.
You have to level up and get a master class on every single material of that materia.
Yeah, so all red.
So every summon in the game has to be mastered.
You just want to get to purple because there's only like 5. There's like cover,
no, you just want to get. You want to get master summons, that way you can lull stomp stuff with final attack, and you can purposely kill Cloud with master summon. Boosh! Dead.
See, well, best part about 7 and 8 to me was the fact that once you had that material, though. Okay, so here's why 8 is really ranked high, and it should be, because they allowed you to take any spell you want, put it on your attack. Any spell you want, buff your defense. And the bonus to that is that I put death on the sword with Squall if I didn't want to fuck with stuff.
Right.
In the grind, one hit, thing's dead instantly. It even does the death animation as if I cast the spell. So they actually slice in half. Looks cool as shit. And I'm like, awesome. And then you can put like, I don't know, you can put certain things on defense, and then your defense was like crazy outrageous. And I don't know, it was awesome.
Some of it was.
And then Final Fantasy put 4 times cut with steal HP, stuff like that, so you're just like combining your badassery.
Final Fantasy VIII, the tedium for some reason, here's why it's more noticeable. The tedium begins at the fucking fire cavern.
Yeah,
right there.
Yep.
Game start, begin tedium. Because the first thing she does is you walk there and she says, by the way, did you know that if you take this and you put this on your stats, you do this, you change that and do that, and they show it to you in the fucking junction menus, the tutorial, and you're like, I want to do that. Yep. So you immediately go in to start junctioning, and you're like, why can't I do it? So you check your GF, because before you could do what she just explained to you in the fucking tutorial, you have to get this skill, that skill, that skill, that skill, and that skill, and that skill. And you also have to equip both of these guys so that this guy takes care of the stats that this guy can't learn. Now, once you've learned all of that, you can do what she explained to you at the first fucking tutorial. That's a lot. So you notice right off the bat, you're like, I can't even do what she just told me to do.
Yeah, I was actually laughing at that because I've never played this game.
Yeah.
I watched the YouTube review of it.
You see how I left those in for you?
You literally
and then I immediately went to the GF menu to show that you can't do what she just told you to do.
They'll literally, you can watch it. It's like a legit hard cut. It's, okay, cut. Here's this, and I'm like, where the fuck is he now? Because just a second ago, he was running through the woods doing nothing. Now all of a sudden, there's a hard cut, and literally the chick turns and goes, oh, by the way, and many. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? And instantly, as soon as Bill went into it, I was like, this looks boring as fuck, and I would have shut this off.
And immediately, when she was done with her tutorial, I went into the status menu to show that what she just explained, you can't even do.
Yeah.
If you go straight to the fire cavern, you can't do what she just told you to do. You're not there yet. You have some level grinding and some drawing to do, or refining. Yeah. But in order to do the refining, you have to learn the refining spells. And then so far, no GF starts with them, so you have to access the GF and go to the menu, and I showed you how to do that. Yeah. And I go down and I pick the GF and I tell it to start learning to refine. It will refine after 40 AP. I go and fight the first battle, there's 1 AP. So guess what? fight 40 battles to collect 40 items. Might not even be the items you need, and you go. It's what it is. But
I didn't use your
It's okay.
a whole lot.
Do you want to
though,
know
either.
why?
there's no difference.
Greg, do you want to know why it's okay? Ultimate weapon on first disc. Lionheart disc 1.
Right.
Done. I win.
Right.
Don't care.
But I never used the refining and stuff
Ask
either.
Shane.
So,
he
yeah,
watched
I
me
definitely
sit
did it the
there
hardest
and
way
restart
possible. Unless
the
high potion turned into like
last
Cure
fight
on
to disc 1.
Cure
Right.
or something, and I did that.
Because I wanted
maybe,
the Lionheart.
but
Now,
I never
during
did
the
it.
course of your tedium, there is a
Yeah.
plus side.
Right.
You don't need to farm money.
Right.
Just
You're already-
cheat the system,
Right.
download the fucking answer list, get all the money
for
you
the-
can.
For the questions for
Yeah.
the rank. Yeah, me and my friend, he helped me out, and we went through those, and we got to, was there 25 tests? I think we got to like 20.
No, there's
Like
enough
50
tests for
tests?
you to literally go from level 1 to level 8, which is 31.
So 31, okay, so we got
There's
to like,
30 tests.
and that means
Damn,
we got to like 25.
that's some testing.
Dude, we got to like 25, because it wasn't our
usually
first
start
rodeo.
at level 5.
Yeah.
Anywhere
Okay.
between 5 and 10 is your starting seed rank. Usually. 5 is usually the minimum. You can get 10, but it is
Don't you have to
fucking
kill the
rare as
spider?
dicks.
You have to be.
You know, I tried to kill that spider, and Shane was like, "Are you sure you can kill that thing?" It's like, "Yeah, I know for a fact I can blow this damn thing up on this bridge. I
It
just
takes
gotta
out the
remember how.
bridge.
I can't. For some reason, I couldn't blow him up, and I took him down the right amount of times to do it, but he would not fucking blow up. And it pissed me off. So I said, "Fuck it." I just kept going.
I don't know.
But I remember doing it as a kid.
Right.
But when I was looking through my old strat guide that I still had,
Yeah.
that somehow has mostly survived the test of time. Unfortunately, the seed rank answers
Are
were
not in
not
there,
in there anymore
Too much-
because that was near the front cover,
Right.
and that doesn't exist.
Coming in at number 6 with a 3.23 is Final Fantasy V for PlayStation 1.
That is
It is awesome. It is awesome.
Final Fantasy V is number 6.
Okay.
All right, now I got that tantrum out of the way.
I actually have no idea why, but I
Your
really
neighbors
like,
are gonna love the.
This
fuck
is
out
kind
us
of weird
today.
that this
I
keeps
like-
happening,
yeah,
though.
isn't it? But I really like Final Fantasy V. I can't even put really a
Well,
reason
as you
to
can
it
see-
when I play it,
As you
whatever.
can
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
we
I
we
like
rated it
I like
awfully
it a
high.
lot.
It's in the top 10.
Because I was here when you were doing it, and I was like, 5 for 5.
Yeah, actually, I think
Me and
you
you were
saved
probably
it
like
'cause
giving it.
I didn't give it a 5. I know that
Yeah.
much.
Going
but I gave
back-
it a good score.
Going back to this saved it because there were a couple people, myself included, that had I screwed up a storyline. Not a storyline. There was one mechanic that for some reason, and I don't remember why, but I thought the mechanic existed in 4.
Okay.
And it did not. It existed in 5, and that one mechanic boosted my
Right,
score
changed
up to
it,
like
yeah.
a 3.9 or something.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it had a lot of weird stuff about the game. Some Final Fantasies I feel have a lot of strategy guide-ness to them, where they have one thing where you need the strategy guide. 12's a good example because you can't get the best weapon in the game unless you skip certain item boxes.
There's
or
13
whatever.
of them, and if you
Yeah,
even
there you
touch
go.
them
Yeah.
with a
then
pixel
you
of your
screw.
toe, you lose it.
Yeah, so
Awesome. You
stuff
better
like that,
tuck
right?
that pixel in.
I feel like Final Fantasy. I feel like Final Fantasy V
Rock out with
was
your
like that a little
pixels
bit.
out.
'cause
Eat less burgers.
Because that's one of the games where
Pixelated burgers.
there's a town where you just walk out of it, you go to the left into the forest. I was like, I'm just gonna grind.
Oh,
here.
Rama.
And Rama just appears.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Bill had that
"What?"
issue.
Yeah.
Bill walks into
How
the
you
middle
just-
of the woods
you're just
outside
there?
of Licks, and he's
Yeah.
just like, let's go check out the enemies. What the fuck is up with
Yeah,
the old dude?
So since I don't know
Like,
how
I'm
strong
Rama?
he is, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go train more, and then I'll try to find him again sometime. So I'll go somewhere else to train, but when I go way to the right and go too far down, all of a sudden these guys one-hit kill me. Oh, okay.
You're
So
like,
that,
damn
that
it.
problem with the game was like, you had to, it's like they forced you like, hey, go look it up. Well, that in that age you couldn't, I guess. But
Back then
Yeah.
you couldn't.
like,
You
hey,
had
go
to.
buy that strategy guide. 'cause
Back
you need to
then-
know where to farm at because you can't farm
Or
this.
you better.
You can't farm that.
When
better
I
hope
played
that
these
a
old
friend of yours
games-
knew how to play.
Right.
When I was a kid, I used to have what I called my gaming journal. It was one of those little black notebooks, and I used to keep it on the side of the couch. And what I would do is each page was dedicated to a game I was playing. So I was playing something, and I'd like in Final Fantasy V, if I come by a guy that's like, I saw something fall from the sky. I swear it ran into a cave over in the northwest. I would take the book out and be like, cave, northwest, something shiny. Close the book and put it down. Because later on, that means something. I don't know what, but later on, that fucking means something. And then I'd like go and they'd be like, have you ever heard about I've heard rumors that a witch lives in the basement. Witch in basement, so-and-so castle. Like, I know that means something. Yeah. So if I found Ruma and died, I'd be like, because I played the other Final Fantasy, I know what that guy is. I'm like,
me outside of Lit.
Yeah, I'm like, Ruma sitting at so-and-so point on world map, must get Ruma.
Yeah, I'll get him later.
Because obviously I can't get him right now. No, she was under the castle. That's exactly what I mean. Because I went and there's a guy that was like,
that one was easy.
I've heard there's a. He's like,
you just go into the waterfall through the moat, up into the thing, up into the second floor of the tower weirdness. And
but that one's a lot more clear to me. I think just random Rama in a village.
Random Rama. Which, funny enough, they actually do add that back in.
Did they? Okay.
In the 6.
Oh, did they?
Doomgaze.
Yeah, technically, Doomgaze wanders the earth.
Yeah.
And there's also the dragons that if you take out all the dragons, you get somebody.
Final Fantasy 8.
Which one do they have?
Cactar.
Oh, that's right.
Tonberry.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of Final Fantasies do this now, because 10 has 2 of them, or 3, doesn't it?
Final Fantasy 6
they're hidden,
also had Crusaders, the one you're thinking of when you take out all of
the dragons?
The dragons, you get Crusader, but you never want to use it because it will kill your entire party also.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can also get it by using the slot machines.
You could use like re-raise and then
you can also get it by using Magicite.
Ugh.
Dead team.
It irritates the shit out of you when that happens, man.
Because it's like getting the bad Joker death.
Okay, yeah, right.
It's when you get 7/7 bar, and then suddenly your entire team dies.
Yep.
Because shenanigans.
You were gambling. Yep. Don't always win. Yep. It's not always a jackpot.
No, sometimes sometimes you go bankrupt on the Wheel of Fortune, buddy.
Sometimes it's on the wheels of fortune. Oh, okay. I did talk to a guy about Final Fantasy V. Just to say this. One, he was like, okay, he's like, that town you guys are mentioning, it's a mistranslation. It's actually Rix. Now, I told him, I did refer back to him. I was like, if I had to guess why, when I played the ROM, it was translated that way, it's because when most translators see something as an R, they assume that's an L sound. Because just like Krillin's name is spelled like Kurirn.
But his name is actually Kurin.
Yeah.
But we call him Krillin.
Yeah. They call him Krillin. They call him Krillin. The R makes an L sound.
Yeah.
So when that comes over here and the name of the town is Rix, the translator probably assumed that it's Lix.
Was it Lix on the PlayStation 1? That's the one I played, the disc.
The original that I played was a ROM.
Oh, I don't know if they had it on that either. I don't really... On a lot of Final Fantasy, I don't pay attention to any of the city names mostly.
He also told me that guy is not named X-Death. Stupid fucking name. His name is actually like Exodus. Like Exodus.
His name is Exodius, or literally the letter X-Death. There's several translations, but his name is supposed to be Exodius.
That sounds way better to me than X-Death.
X-Death sounds like you didn't know how to name the guy, and you were really confused. Like, let's just name him. He's the enemy. He's going to kill you.
He's the death of your ex.
Yep. All right.
Avenge me.
Coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 5 with 3.75. Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn.
The second he started saying I was like, I swear to God.
No, I know.
I'm going to dick punch somebody in the near future. Nope, we also we had to pick a version of 14.
Right, yeah.
There's only 2 of them.
Alright. I played the very first version.
You played the shit
beta
version.
tested that motherfucker.
I sat down for 20 minutes with Jeremy McCaffrey.
Did you shut off right away or what?
When he was doing the beta for 14 original.
Yeah. It was bad. The whole layout was horrible. I was like, didn't they learn anything from World of Warcraft? It's okay to borrow. It's okay. You can kind of steal what they have and go, oh, we'll just change the color of it like every other MMO does. But they were like, no, we're going to have an original design. It sucks.
That sucks.
We're gonna make it so everybody's stuck, and everybody when we were playing the chat bar, everybody's going, how do I get out of here? And that's the first thing.
How do I get out of here?
That's my biggest problem. We were in the castle. I walk through this door.
What are you doing to my castle?
I follow
Get
a guy-
out of here.
Yeah, I'm following a guy that's running down a hallway.
Because you think he knows where he's going.
I'm following him. I'm like, well, this guy's gotta know. And then we meet up with a bunch of people in a circle. We're like,
and
there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's almost like you accidentally walked into a cult meeting. Like you were like, "Where's this guy going?" And you're chasing him, and then you guys walk into a room, and there's just a whole bunch of guys in a circle, and they all turn to you, and they're like, "How do we get out of here?"
People's way to tell you how to get out of the castle was follow the NPCs, and that's how bad the game was. They were like, to get out of this castle, follow the NPCs, or you could like do this. You could like teleport, but I didn't even know how to do that. Like the design of the layout was just so confusing, and I was like, you know what? I'll come back to this later. I was like, I don't have time for this. I really don't.
It's like I watched him play it, and I was like, nope, I'm done.
I mean, it was cool battling because I was a monk. I was when I hit the guy, like kind of you move around, and it's like the animation. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm getting somewhere, and then they were like, okay, now walk and find so and so, and I was like.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, and that's the hardest part of the game right there. Go find this guy.
Go find this
guy.
Who's in the place you're in. You just gotta get him.
Now with the game though, with Realm Reborn, it's the second you start leveling your characters up, you start learning your rotations. That's the entire basis of the game for the battle system.
Yep.
You don't get to pick and choose what you do.
Yeah,
you learn the specified required rotation for your class. Case in point, my character's Black Mage. That's the only class I have at level 50. My rotation is this. I'm fighting an enemy, but he's a big, scary motherfucker, right? I cast Fire 3. Hit him in the face, spend my MP for that real quick, stacks 3 things of Astral Fire, which boosts all of my spells' damage, continue casting Fire until I'm almost out of magic, cast Blizzard. Or Blizzard 3. Which will take away my Astral Fire and switch it over to Umbral Ice, which increases my MP regen. So I keep casting Blizzard, and I'll throw a Thunder at him.
I know.
And once my MP is full again, I
now,
throw
Bill,
Fire 3.
This is how an MMO works now.
What? See, and my rotation's the easiest.
Yeah.
Because I'm just DPS.
Right.
I just blow shit up. That's my job. I throw fire until I'm out of magic.
Yeah, I was
throw
world
ice
famous
until I got
pugilist Sabine
and I throw
Figaro.
more fire.
So what's the...
Sometimes a flare.
How do you tell it what to do? Like, you set that up ahead of time, then, is what I'm
No.
asking. So,
I press the
you're
button.
still clicking the...
I still press the buttons,
okay.
but I have no actual choice of what I'm supposed to do with my role. My role is blow shit up. If there's a mass group of enemies, I throw blow everybody up spells.
Right.
Well,
If
for
there's
anybody,
I blow up that motherfucker's spells.
for anybody that was not Final Fantasy XIV literate, this dude over here just said,
Alright, he pretty much just stacks his buffs till he's back to normal stats again.
Well,
like he was just calling out shit
know,
like,
I
I got Fire 3, Blizzard, and then he was like, so-and-so stacked this with this, and the things, and I was like,
now I'll go layman's
fucking,
terms.
he just blew my goddamn mind.
Layman's terms.
Yeah.
I blow shit up until I'm out of magic. My initial spell boosts all my other damage spells. I'm pretty much out of magic. I have enough to cast my ice spell.
Yeah, I got
my
that.
ice spell, which boosts my MP regeneration, and I keep throwing ice until my MP's full. And then I go back to blowing shit up with fire. And I go back to ice. That's my rotation. Every once in a while, when there's a mass group of enemies, and I'm low on MP, I throw flare.
Bill
It
still
burns
has
all
the-
of my
Hold
MP.
on. Bill still
So
has the
you
dirt work.
use MP to charge the MP?
Yeah.
MMO, man.
No,
That's what they do.
okay.
You have
That's what you
natural
I'm
MP regeneration.
Right.
No.
You're
Hold
fine.
on.
Go ahead and talk to them. I'm
totally
done.
get it.
I'm not.
basically-
Yeah.
It makes sense to me.
I'm a dragoon.
Yeah.
Let me explain
Shane
mine.
stab shit.
I stab shit, comboing my stabbing until everybody's dead.
Which makes 100% more sense to me. But to me,
Welcome
I
to
was
Mages.
just punching stuff.
And he punches.
Alright,
to me, an RPG, if I have
In which
mana
I still
points
outdo
and I
damage
use
on them
mana,
with my stick.
that means I use the mana. So if I use a spell that takes mana points, I'm done. I have nothing.
Okay,
Think of it this
here's-
way.
Have
Bill,
nothing.
No, Bill. Think of it this way. Regen. Heals your HP, right?
Which takes mana.
No, I'm just saying. That heals your HP.
Yeah.
Casting ice from a black mage basically gives me mana regen.
So how do I use the ice?
You have just enough MP to use it. If you don't, then you hit.
So I use
transpose.
the MP to cast the ice, which charges my MP?
It starts to charge your MP. Yes.
It doesn't make a lot. But
Okay,
the
you
way
know
he's
how
doing
we're
it,
playing-
he's breaking the
Stop.
system. Is what he's doing.
You know how
It's
we're
not
playing
supposed to be that
D&D
good.
I'm
right
already
now?
done.
But you make it that good.
You can explain this to me all night. I'm done. I just used mana to charge mana so I can
Yeah.
use mana to waste mana. I'm done.
I like it.
Yeah,
It
that's
makes me
pretty
kind of
much
exciting. It's cool. I like that. Let's see. Like,
It's really how it works, though. It's
You can't
I
jump?
use up almost all my magic. I go,
You jump?
oh
No.
shit!
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I throw my ice out. My
This is a
MP
good
starts
juice.
going back up, and that's it.
But
Hey,
either way,
Bill.
so they like
Yeah.
the new.
You know how we're
FF14,
playing
right?
D&D right now?
I don't care.
You know how D&D
already
has
done.
one-a-day spells?
I don't care.
My subscription ran out, so.
It's kind of the same thing.
No, it's not.
Mm-mm.
No,
If
it's
you
not
like
even
it,
close to
no,
the
no,
same
no,
thing.
it's
Here's the
great.
easiest way to think about it. It's
If you
kind of like
don't
that.
like
If you
MMOs
hang out and wait, you gain your day spells back.
No, I don't.
No, you don't. You have to go sleep at an inn.
He's talking
exactly.
about using my day spell to charge my day spell.
Yeah, your
Yes.
your
I
logic is
understand.
wrong.
Listen, I understand exactly what he's saying, but it still makes dumb sense to me. So I've moved on. I'm drinking
time
this
out?
juice, and whatever you guys do with this, you do, and then
14's a great game.
All I was
I
going to
was a
say is
healer
technically instead
in
of
World of
sleeping, you
Warcraft,
can
and I
actually
never
read a
ran out
book
of
and
MP
relearn your
doing
spells.
stuff like that.
Okay.
But,
There's always like
yeah.
There's
that's
always
not the
some-
same. He's
I'm
not
like, Flash
waiting.
heal 7,000.
He's using.
Flash.
If you were playing Final
I
Fantasy
know,
1,
5 seconds
I don't
flash
stop casting.
yeah.
I know.
If you were
I
playing
I might
Final
have
Fantasy 1,
I might have 1
I'm
second
trying to
of
explain it to
non-cast.
him
I
easily, and then
understand.
He
after that-
understands it.
I understand. It would be like if I used Flare, but it took the mana out, and it took the 20 mana to use the Flare. Okay, I use Flare. It deducts 50 mana, but then it gives me 60 mana because I used Flare. That's what the fuck he's doing, and it makes no
Actually-
sense.
Actually,
yeah,
no, it
once
wouldn't
you
work
use-
that way with Flare.
No. When you throw ice out,
That's
to
what it would
jump
be.
everything back up.
Yeah.
My mana bar goes blip, blip,
Yeah,
blip.
that's what he's
Cool.
doing.
Now fire again.
He's spending mana to use a spell that deals damage and then recharges the mana, and then he has to deduct those points, but then he gets points back. So he's spending 50 that actually deducts from the mana pool
That
and
actually
gives him
gives me
60.
No, that gives me about 600.
So I get what he's saying, but for me, I'm like,
And it's not
Yeah,
what
it's
the
like
fuck?
it's like 30.
Okay,
Give
yeah.
me
Now,
over
now, I'm,
600
now I'm with
back.
Bill. That does seem retarded.
No,
It
because
seems
I have to
awesome.
be quick.
I would do it in Final Fantasy 1 if I could, but it's
So would I with
regardless.
my 9 level 1 spells a day.
No,
You
I
see?
mean the whole casting fire period. I know it boosts your magic attack, but for fuck's sakes, just keep spamming ice and infinite MP. Fuck
yeah,
that.
but you don't do damage.
No, ice.
That's the
Ice
problem.
is very weak
Ah,
damage.
So you
Okay.
tell me.
All right, this is the way it goes. I boost my
Look,
boost
guys.
my magic damage. I also boost my MP cost.
Listen,
That-
I
I
get
use
it.
ice. I boost
It's
my.
over.
No, I explained it the
Look,
set.
I know.
I
Just
use ice, boost my MP regen,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
subtract severely on my potency. So my ice spell is like a
Okay.
kitten coming up and just pawing you in the face.
No, that's
But then
fine.
my
It
fireball
makes
also
sense.
comes out and I'm
It
goblin
makes sense
punching
that
you.
they added
With
debuff
steel
to
Most
it in order to
importantly,
do
I
it.
understand
Okay.
everything he's saying. What's
Well, you've also
I
seen
understand
it in
what he's
action.
saying 100 times now.
I played a black mage, so I know.
I get it. I get it 100%. I know.
All I did was beta test the damn game because it was free for me.
I know
After that,
That was the wrong
MMOs.
version.
I know MMOs. I
No, I
simply
beta
don't play them.
tested
A
a Realm
Okay.
Reborn for the PS4.
Alright.
I beta tested that shit.
I get it.
I had fun.
I get how it works.
But I was a pugilist and not
Just-
a mage.
It's fucking Nick breaking systems again.
No, that's a legit rotation that you're told to do in game.
That's fine.
This is like, here's how you don't die as a black mage. Go.
So Bill,
I
What?
go. Okay.
what's number 4?
Oh, I would be glad to go to number 4.
After we blow Bill's mind.
I'm
Do I
not
need to go
blown.
get the hot glue gun so
They-
you piece it
you don't
back
understand.
together?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
He's
It's
not,
just
he's not an MMO guy, so to be
Yeah.
fair, he don't
Well,
give a fuck.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just going back to the joke Bill said earlier where I blew his mind. So I was like, I'll get the hot
the
glue
only
gun.
thing that blew my mind was you were using terms I didn't know. You went. The only thing that stopped me was when you started on the rotation. I was like, I get that. And then you started on this. You told me how to do this. But then you said something that without any form of context, it would have been like, Well, first I use my Eagle, and I use my Eagle 5 times, and because of that, it puts 3 microphones on my sidebar. Those 3 microphones indicate that I get this on my sidebar, and then my sidebar goes up, and that makes me switch to my Scott spell. Now, my Scott spell adds 3 datas to the sidebar and detects those microphones, and then the microphones go down those aliens that fucking came in because I spin my datas on the aliens, and I can reuse my Scott spell, and that gives me my fucking Eagle spell back.
The Borg show up.
And then I was like...
oh, no, and then I cast Borg in a way.
That's how fucking foreign it was, because the first terms I heard, Fire 3, Ice 3, I know those. That's it. That's the only terms you mentioned that I knew. So that's like me trying to explain Gundam physics to you.
Which I understand. Somewhat. Because
how does the Minsky particle generator work?
I gotta remember this one.
You see?
No, because you did explain it to
and
me.
I have.
I was like, all right, yeah, I know that.
And I have.
That
I've explained it to a lot of people.
Ago.
Exactly. So now,
I'm just kind of like,
now if I started going fucking crazy on it, you'd be like, okay, I got that part. But then I never slow down to tell you the parts that you're not catching. So at the end, I'm like, now pop quiz. How many eagles summon into a Scott that provides datas that give me microphones?
13.
No, that's an easy one. Do you want to know what the answer is? Tacos. 47 and a half
It just
tacos.
makes it easier
So,
than I
ordered
stab
not
shit.
I
Taco
understand.
John's 'cause they won't do
I
it.
understand all of it, but when you use a term that you haven't explained, that's just you speaking words.
Wasn't I explaining what Astral Fire did as I went, though?
No, you just
No.
simply said astral fire.
But since
Yeah, you just said it gives me 3 astral fires.
Which boosts my fire spells until I'm out, and then I switch to Humble Ice, which takes the Astral Fire away, gives me 3
But
stacks
for
of
somebody
that,
who's
which
played
gives
the
me
game
mana
like me,
regen.
everything you were saying was not gibberish to me.
So somebody that's never played the game and
With
doesn't even
gibberish
know
to
what an
him.
astral fire is and has never heard the term in his entire life,
yes,
and since there was no pause,
you did
Yeah.
rant. but
it'd be
everything
like
you
me
were
explaining the junction system to some French dude that never had Final Fantasy VIII and his only experience is Final Fantasy I, and I have to put that to terms he would understand for Final Fantasy I, and I have to do it without ever taking a breath.
All the meanwhile,
In
speaking
English, and he can only speak
to-
French.
yeah.
So he's got a little translator phone device, like, oh, so we.
So we... Excuse me.
Why
So,
French?
apparently we like violent sports.
Because nobody likes them.